Hi, it's Marina J, and I help people flourish after narcissistic abuse. When somebody, like a narcissist, is trying to get a reaction from you, they're going to blame you for all the misery in their life. They're going to subject you to the worst verbal abuse and feel justified in doing it, because they're the ones that's hurt. They're the victims here. They will see no issue with annihilating you, criticizing your children to your face, criticizing people you love to your face, criticizing your approach to your life, criticizing how you look, how you think, how you vote, criticizing on if you do things for free, criticizing your career, your business, your vocation, what it is that you do, criticizing your home, putting you down, undermining you, comparing you to others, and blaming you for things that could have happened 10, 20 years ago, and they're still not over it. Right? You've perhaps spoken and spoken and spoken about it. Maybe you've apologized for your part in it, if you had a part in it, and still they cast it up. Narcissists will do whatever they can to elicit energy from you. They're going to keep poking the bear. And what starts to happen is they're looking for a reaction in you. Now, a healthy reaction to getting abused is to get angry as a way of protecting yourself, or to say stop, or maybe to try and explain yourself even more. As it escalates, what happens is that you are going to have usually the right response, which is you'll be like, what? And you're going to defend yourself, or you're going to point the truth out to them, or you're going to try and explain again the situation from a different viewpoint. You're going to try and make them see, you're going to try and make them get it, because you think surely this time they'll get it. And then when they don't, you keep going again. So you're going to have reaction, right? It's very normal to have a reaction when you're being abused. But this is when the narcissist takes advantage of you. They want the reaction. They actually relish your reaction. They're like, they love the fact you'll see them react with glee when you get angry, when you're hurt, when you're crying, when you are upset, when you're showing them that you're trying to apologize or explain something or show them the truth in some way, shape, or form. They will relish. They'll get excited. They're like, yes. And they will get very happy when you're upset, which will further bring you into more and more of a reaction. And you're basically being twisted and twisted and twisted until eventually you like, oh my God. And then you end up reacting and you think to yourself, this isn't me. This isn't like me. I don't normally have this extreme reaction. If you have an extreme reaction, that's because you've been reacting towards extreme action. Anytime somebody has an extreme reaction like you, who doesn't want to hurt anybody, who wants to find a resolution, who just wishes everything could reconcile, who wants love, all of those things, that's your sign that you're dealing with abuse. Now, here's an interesting thing with narc abuse is they want you reacting so they can then abuse you for reacting to their abuse. They can blame you for the way that you're reacting to their abuse. They can criticize you, annihilate you, show you even more why you're a bad person for reacting to what they just said or what they just did or what they didn't do. So there's the original abuse, and then there's the abuse that they're going to abuse you with for reacting to the original abuse. And this is a cycle. right? This reactive abuse is a cycle where they're blaming you for a reaction or an extreme reaction to their extreme initial action. And when this happens, you might hate yourself. You might be absolutely horrified at who you've become, at what you said, at what occurred. Maybe you then went on the verbal attack to them and you were trying to point out the truth and, yeah, but you didn't say that or whatever. And maybe you really screamed or you really shouted. Understand you've been under great duress. Narcissistic abuse is like nothing else. It's like none other, right? It is designed to crush and annihilate you. So here's the thing. If you've had this experience, we can't go back and change it. What we can do is really see the game and no longer be willing to play it. If the narcissist is trying to have a chat with you, a discussion with you, a moment with you, right? I'm doing that because it's never that, right? It's always another way for them to get energy from you, to create some kind of drama so they can control you even more, control the situation, get what they need from you, right? Which is power and energy and whatever else, whatever else that they're wanting to get. So if you're in this situation or you've been in this situation, we can't change the past. What we can do is see it for what it is and say, you know what? I'm going to forgive myself. Can I forgive myself for reacting to their extreme abuse, right? For reacting to the fact that they criticized my children in front of me and expected me to be all right with that. They criticized and hurt the people I love, and they expect me to be fine with that. Do you see? They criticize and admonish and laugh at and belittle and minimize my achievements and the things and people and everything my whole life. And I'm expected to continue to take it. I'm expected to have a calm, even voice. I'm expected to keep giving them love, to keep helping them, to keep wanting to be with them, right? Because they expect you to keep wanting to be with them, even though they're abusing you. They're like saying, well, why don't you come and spend Christmas with me? Why don't you want to hang out with us? Why don't you want to be, part of the company again? Why don't you want to rejoin our organization or rejoin our family or rejoin the marriage? Like, why are you leaving the marriage? Whatever it is, because they're expecting you to be okay with the abuse. You're not okay with the abuse, and you no longer want to react to the abuse, right? Because what's going to happen is it just crescendos. They then turn into the victim. They then get upset at the way you're talking to them or the way you're behaving towards them, right? But they set it up. They're very good setup artists. So don't fall for the setup. If you feel yourself being pulled into reacting, see if you can literally take a breath in and see it for what it really, really is. And imagine that you're just watching them. You're not in this conversation with them. They think they're in a conversation with you. You're not. You're literally just watching them. And see if you can put space between you and them. So instead of seeing them as the annihilator or the person that really knows you, or your husband, your wife, your child, your parent, your sibling, instead of seeing them like that, can you, in your mind, put a word over there, just above their head or over their forehead, that allows you to disengage? What would that word be for you? For some, the word is abuser. They just go, if I can be with that person and put the word abuser, I don't even engage. I don't even get to the point where there's reactive abuse, where I'm reacting to their abuse, because I've already set that expectation. I've already given them that, and I can step back and have space. Can you do that? What word would it be for you, right? What word would it be for you? We're not saying that's all they are. but we're using what we can so that we can step back. And in these situations where they're goading us or they're baiting us, we can just gray rocket. Very, very easily just get gray rocket and just give one sentence answers, very minimal. We don't need to over explain ourselves. We don't get hooked in. We don't allow ourselves to be hooked in. So what word would you put over them? And I'd love to hear in the comments below, because when we start to pull together ideas, it really helps everyone to begin to put even more distance between themselves and the abuser. I'd love to hear how this really supports you and helps you. Don't beat yourself up if you reacted to their abuse. Forgive yourself, right, for reacting to very extreme behavior. And often, you know, your anger was righteous anger. Your anger is there to protect you. It's just that when you do it with this particular person or these people, it just makes it even bigger and worse. It just perpetuates, because that's what they want. They don't want reconciliation. They want to fight. They want control. They want power over you. And when you react, deep down, they're pleased, because it means they've got control, because they are managing to almost like, you know, when you have like a puppet, they're the puppeteer, and they can do that, right? And they're like, oh, look, I can make her go this way, or I can make him go that way, and I can do whatever I want, right? No, they're not the puppeteer. They're not the controller. They're actually weaker than you, because anybody that is resorting to this sort of abuse is a very, very weak person. And you don't need to buy in to this power play. You don't need to wrestle with the power anymore, because there's no power there. The most powerful thing you can do with somebody like this is to not engage at all, because they're in this relationship for a completely different reason than you are. You think you're in this relationship to try and make things better, to reconcile, to heal, for love. They're in this relationship to get from you. That's not love. That's not love. So beautiful, soul. I hope this has really supported you. You no longer need to engage. What word would you put on their forehead so that the next time you're in front of them, or the next time an email or text or phone call comes in, you go, ah, and it will immediately take you out of being in that relationship to being able to sit out of the relationship and just watch it, almost like an observer, where you can just watch and go, oh, look, they're going into abuse mode again. Oh, look, they're going into defending themselves again. Oh, look, they've gone straight into blame. Oh, look, they've gone straight into victimhood. They've swung between blame and being a victim. Oh, look, they're trying from a different angle right now. And you can just watch it and go, wow, that's not a real relationship. I don't know what that is, but I no longer need to participate in that. And you don't. Oh, my love.